Hello and welcome to One Senior Source Utah Radio on 860 AM, Utah's Big Talker. I'm Michelle Rowley.
And I'm Dennis Rowley. And the purpose of our show is to really get out there and talk about some of the services and resources that are available for seniors to make their lives better, give them some fulfillment toward the end of their life, even if it's not toward the end of their life. But as people get older, they become less independent and become more dependent. And as we see that happen, we see a lot of changes happen in people's lives.
Well, and not only for the seniors, but also, their friends and loved ones and those that are around them and helping take care of them. It changes everybody's life. For
example, I got an email this week from a listener who is 63 herself, and she's taking care of her 90-year-old mother. And she's got a lot of concerns about some of the things that are going on for both of them, and is nervous about the fact that she doesn't think that her mom is going to be around for much longer, or even that she may be passed before her mother. And so what we want to do is we want people to tell us your story. If you tell us your story, we can most likely come up with a solution for you, or a series of solutions for you to make your lives better. Now, coming up on this first segment, we're going to be talking with Dan Hartle. And Dan is an independent insurance agent with Integrity Insurance Services of Utah. And we have got Medicare open enrollment coming up here very quickly.
Yeah, the official date is October 15th.
Well, that is just right around the corner.
And, of course, it ends December 7th. So it's a very short period of time to, make any decisions that are, during this time of year.
Give us just maybe a 20-second overview about what open enrollment is and why it's important.
It's really important because decisions made during this time of year will stay in effect that entire next year. So any change that occurs to your Medicare coverage will go into effect on January 1, and most consumers, unless they have some sort of special election period, will have to remain with that coverage plan the entire year.
And that is really important because that determines things like your care and your co-payments and your a lot of that.
Absolutely. I mean, so the one thing that I try to remind consumers about every year, the number one thing is changes always occur. Regardless of what type of plan or coverage option you have at the moment, the one thing that is certain is that there will be some sort of change.
So assuming that, I've liked my plan this year, so I'm just going to stay where I'm at, is not a good idea then, right?
Yeah, a lot of consumers do that. They'll, if obviously you make no change proactively, then consumers will remain on the same program. But however, these insurance programs, depending on whether you have a Medicare supplement or a Medicare Advantage plan, they're quite different. And there will be changes on the formulary, the list of medications that they cover, the network of doctors or providers that you have access to, as well as your premium deductibles, all those other coverages.
So what do people really need to know right now, Dan?
The first thing is that each insurance plan will have sent an annual notice of change. So they typically spell out what is going to be changing next year. It's important that consumers read those annual notices of change. Also, they need to understand the difference between having a Medicare Advantage plan and a Medicare supplement and a prescription drug program, because those coverages are very different. And once they understand those different coverage types, they need to determine which coverage better suits their needs and wants.
Okay. Now, I am roughly familiar with the Medicare Advantage plans and the Medicare supplements. And the Medicare Advantage plan is basically takes you out of Medicare and has you under private insurance, correct?
It's actually an option within Medicare. So when a consumer enrolls in a Medicare Advantage plan, they always will remain within the Medicare program. It's just an option that is available where a private insurance company can administer those Medicare benefits to you directly.
Okay. What else do we need to know?
Really, there's some significant changes that I've noticed in the marketplace to formularies, to those tiers. They typically will establish not only the list of medications they cover, but what that cost or co-payment is for each medication. Some of the things that were in a Tier 1 or a Tier 2 or vice versa, so that can really affect the cost. Some programs have added deductibles, which have never had a deductible in the past, And then some Medicare supplement plans have increased premiums. The other thing is there are many consumers who have a retirement program from their previous employers, whether they've been state, federal employees, or work for a large employer. And those plans, I've seen some of those are either disappearing or significantly changing as well.
Okay. What else do people need to really understand about Medicare open enrollment right now?
I would encourage consumers to make a decision sooner rather than later. I see it every year where consumers wait till the very last moment, and then they're scrambling to, make informed decisions. And so I would encourage them to, be proactive, seek out the information they're looking for. If they don't have access to information and education that they'd like, they can always contact, Salt Lake County Aging Services, CMS.gov. Locally, of course, my agency, we have agents all over the state that can help. But I would encourage them to look out to some local resources to try to understand the information, family members even if necessary.
Now, you are an independent agent, and I based on what I understand about the insurance market, that is really important. So how can someone get in touch with you, Dan?
It is. Great. Thanks, Dennis. It's really important to have an independent agent, of course, because we don't represent one company or product. We can find the best solution to fit the consumer's needs, and they can get a hold of us in a few different ways. Local number is 801-987-8815. Our toll-free number is 855-378-1451, and our website is integrityinsuranceut.com.
Okay,
and
perfect.
Consumers can come to our office. Our agents can come directly to the consumers' homes to do an in-home appointment, or we also have seminars that are occurring throughout the state at different restaurants and venues, and consumers can also meet with us there.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dan. That is incredibly important information for anyone who is on a Medicare plan, a Medicare supplement, or a Medicare Advantage plan right now. Thank you so much, Dan, and we will have you back again.
Thank you so much, Dennis.
Coming up on our next segment, we're going to be talking with Craig Clayson, and he's going to be talking to us today about myths and some facts about reverse mortgages. Now,
also, we're going to have Jenny Fry from Birch Creek Home Care and Hospice, and she's got some great ways to be able to stay in your home longer.
You're listening to One Senior Source Utah Radio on AM 860, Utah's Big Talker.